The tale unfolds along the Mexican border and introduces a man named Bryant, who works in construction. Bryant resides in an isolated house where he diligently practices physical fitness and martial arts every morning. Not only does he refine his martial arts skills, but he also deepens his knowledge of martial arts. During these training sessions, a teenager named Oscar secretly observes Bryant's movements, a routine he follows nearly every day before heading off to school. After his training, Oscar rushes to school to ensure he isn't tardy. Oscar, a high school junior, is on the cusp of graduation. Meanwhile, Bryant spends his afternoons at work. To make a long story short, upon returning from school one day, Oscar encounters a group of gangsters known as L-17. One of these gangsters goes by the name Flacco. Oscar, tired of being extorted by Flacco, decides to evade them. Fortunately, he manages to stay hidden, leaving Flacco and his cronies unable to locate him. Coincidentally, Bryant, who happens to be dining at a nearby restaurant, spots Oscar hiding from the L-17 gangsters. Later in the evening, Flacco and his gang unexpectedly visit Oscar's house, still harboring anger over his escape earlier in the day. Flacco demands that Oscar pay him money until Oscar's brother returns home. It turns out that Oscar's biological brother is the leader of the L-17 gang, but he is currently in the United States. Flacco also threatens not to report the incident to Oscar's brother. The following morning, as Oscar typically does, he secretly observes Bryant's movements. However, this time, Bryant catches him. Fortunately, instead of reacting with anger or annoyance, Bryant is willing to teach Oscar and train with him. From that point forward, Oscar undergoes training in physical fitness and Bryant's fundamental martial arts techniques. Oscar is eager to practice every day, and over the course of nearly 4 months, he even learns some of Bryant's customized moves. Despite his training, Oscar continues to face extortion from Flacco, as his brother remains in the United States. Oscar eventually asks Bryant why he chose to teach him martial arts. Bryant explains that he witnessed Oscar being pursued by the L-17 gang and believes that Oscar should be able to defend himself. Oscar reveals that his brother is the leader of the L-17 gang, but when his brother is absent, Flacco often mistreats him. One day, while Oscar and Bryant are practicing, they are approached by Flacco's car. It turns out Flacco has arrived with Oscar's brother, Hector, who serves as the captain of the L-17 gang. Hector appears skeptical about Oscar's association with Bryant, suspecting that Bryant might be an undercover cop. He questions Oscar about his decision not to hang out with Flacco, and instead, choose Bryant as his companion. The following morning, Oscar, who has been prohibited by Hector from seeing Bryant, opts to visit a gym that specializes in mixed martial arts and boxing. Oscar's dream is to become a professional boxer, and this gym offers him the opportunity to pursue his passion. Oscar had recently become acquainted with a young woman named Marisol, who happened to be the daughter of the gym owner. One evening, Oscar, under Hector's influence, joined the L-17 gang, which included Flacco. They took Oscar to watch a free boxing match, featuring a formidable fighter known as the Collector, who had never been defeated in the ring. The audience was promised a substantial prize if anyone could beat the Collector. As the Collector dispatched several opponents, Oscar, much to everyone's surprise, climbed into the ring and offered to challenge the Collector himself. Initially underestimated, Oscar's determination shone through when the fight began. He employed the martial arts moves he had learned from Bryant, leaving the audience astounded. Someone even recorded the fight, which ended with the Collector's defeat in less than 3 minutes. Remarkably, Oscar emerged from the fight without a single hit from the Collector. Hector was filled with pride at Oscar's unexpected triumph, while Flacco was left in shock and vowed never to trouble Oscar again. The following day, Oscar brought the L-17 gang to Bryant's house, much to Bryant's dismay. Bryant had not heard from Oscar for a week, and suddenly he was confronted by the L-17 gang. Hector explained that they were there to request Bryant's assistance in further training Oscar. Hector was determined to see his brother become a professional boxer, especially after Oscar's remarkable performance the previous night. Despite Hector's offers of money and even threats, Bryant adamantly refused to train Oscar again. Bryant warned them, including Oscar, never to approach him again. The scene then shifts to a lawyer named Kira Plan Golf, who received a shocking video sent by an anonymous source. The video featured Oscar's viral fight, showcasing his use of Bryant's martial arts techniques. It became evident that Bryant had drawn the attention of someone much more dangerous. The story transitions to a prison where Sonny Kilbane, a high-ranking Mafia boss, was escorted to a meeting with the lawyer. The lawyer presented the viral video of Oscar's fight, emphasizing the use of Bryant's techniques. Sonny, recognizing Bryant, immediately ordered the lawyer to hire the most formidable hitman to track down and eliminate Bryant, who was believed to be hiding near the Mexican border. The next day, Oscar and Hector found themselves at Marisol's M&M. They were approached by two twins named Ivan and Vlad, who claimed to be boxing promoters. Intriguingly, they had seen Oscar's viral fight and were interested in recruiting him. However, their true intentions became suspect when they asked about Bryant, displaying his picture. Hector, sensing danger, promptly ejected the twins. Hector, concerned about Bryant's safety, relented and agreed to accompany Oscar to inform Bryant about the situation. Arriving at Bryant's residence, Marisol and Oscar met with Bryant while Hector and his 2 associates waited in the car. Oscar informed Bryant about the twin hitmen who were searching for him. Bryant recognized the twins as the most ruthless hitmen in America. The revelation left the group in a precarious situation. Marisol and Oscar hurriedly entered the house as Bryant suspected that the twin men might have already arrived. Bryant then instructed Hector and 2 of his companions to enter the house as well, but they were suddenly ambushed. Tragically, the twins fatally shot 2 of Hector's men with rifles. Hector rushed inside the house and demanded answers from Bryant, questioning why he was being pursued by these hitmen. Bryant finally revealed his true identity, admitting that he was a special police captain who had served in both the LAPD and the DEA. During this period, Bryant had been assigned to dismantle a high-profile Mafia syndicate. He had successfully apprehended one of the Mafia's leaders, Sony, who was now behind bars. However, Sony's associates continued their relentless pursuit of Bryant, even though their boss was incarcerated. Bryant couldn't comprehend how they had suddenly located him, and Marisol suggested that they might have learned about him from the viral video of Oscar's recent fight on social media. This revelation left Bryant upset with Oscar, though they couldn't change what had already occurred. On another note, one of the twins went to fetch gasoline from their car, intending to set fire to Bryant's house, while the other remained ready to open fire. Bryant requested Hector to create a diversion by running toward the bulletproof glass within the next minute, while he planned to exit through a concealed passage. In summary, 1 minute later, Bryant's strategy worked, resulting in one of the twins' demise. Shortly thereafter, the surviving twin's brother arrived with the gasoline he had obtained from the car. Nevertheless, Bryant managed to corner him as well. Bryant revealed that he had killed the brother, provoking the surviving twin's anger, leading him to throw the gasoline canister. Bryant ultimately subdued the man. Bryant attempted to extract information from the remaining hitman by dousing him with gasoline and threatening to set him on fire. Regrettably, the hitman remained silent, maintaining his professionalism. In a desperate act, the hitman produced a lighter, causing him to perish in flames. After returning indoors, Bryant urged Hector and the others to leave immediately, due to his concern that additional hitmen might be lurking outside. To ensure their safety, Bryant led them into a tunnel concealed beneath a mattress. While inside the tunnel, Hector inquired about Bryant's adversary and the reason behind the relentless pursuit. Bryant revealed that Sony, a high-ranking Mafia boss who also held a position as a police general, was the one targeting him. Sony had long been involved in illegal arms trafficking, even engaging in the sale of human beings. Despite Bryant's efforts to imprison him for life, Sony continued to operate his criminal enterprise from within the confines of prison. Bryant also shared the traumatic experience of his wife being tortured by Sony's henchmen. Fortunately, Bryant had rescued her, but fearing she would remain a target, he had staged his own disappearance to protect her. It appeared as if Bryant had been involved in a domestic violence incident, leading his wife to seek a divorce. Since then, Bryant had been in hiding, and his wife's whereabouts remained unknown. Upon reaching the end of the tunnel, Bryant instructed Oscar and the others to leave immediately while he returned to the house. In a nutshell, when Bryant returned home, he discovered corrupt police officers sent by Sony already present. They were seen breaking down the door, prompting Bryant to take action. Only 2 policemen remained, seemingly cornered by Bryant. However, he chose not to harm them and allowed them to escape. The following day, Hector and his men returned to Bryant's house, but Bryant had already departed. He had also cleaned up the previous night's bodies, making it appear as though nothing had occurred. Hector later met Oscar, who was with Marisol. Hector assured Oscar that Bryant was gone, but would be fine. He encouraged Oscar to return to the gym and train even harder, not wanting him to waste the martial arts skills he had learned from Bryant. Subsequently, when Hector visited L7's locations, some of his men were mysteriously eliminated, and Hector found himself in a precarious situation. It was revealed that Alex, a corrupt policeman released by Bryant the previous night, was responsible. Alex and his men took Hector for interrogation. Alex demanded to know Bryant's whereabouts, but Hector, who wasn't close to Bryant, claimed he didn't know. In response, Alex ordered his men to cut off Hector's ear as a gruesome tactic. Unexpectedly, one of Alex's men was shot, and it turned out to be Bryant. Alex taunted Bryant, saying he should have finished him off the previous night, to which Bryant responded that he still had many opportunities. He proceeded to eliminate Alex and some of his men. When his gun ran out of bullets, Bryant continued to flee, and Alex's men pursued him relentlessly. In a moment of exhaustion, Bryant managed to take down one more of Alex's men. Bryant then returned to Hector, who was astounded by Bryant's abilities. Bryant safely escorted Hector home. Meanwhile, Oscar and Marisol went to Bryant's house to confirm whether he had truly left. While Oscar was inspecting the back of the house, he was unexpectedly confronted by DEA agents who had come to protect Bryant, led by Eric, one of Bryant's former subordinates in the police. Eric had been trained in the same martial arts that Bryant had taught Oscar. Eric inquired about Bryant's whereabouts, as the hitmen were still pursuing him. Oscar, however, was unaware of Bryant's current location. Back on the road with Hector, Bryant explained how he had managed to expose a high-profile mafia organization led by Sony. It had taken him 12 years to uncover some of these crimes, during which he had even disguised himself as a mafia member for 7 years. The narrative then shifted to Oscar, who began to suspect something was amiss with Eric, noticing that Eric was leading him in a different direction. Oscar secretly contacted Hector to inform him that he and Marisol were being taken by DEA members led by Eric. Upon hearing Eric's name, Bryant was surprised to discover that Eric, his former subordinate, had defected to Sony's men. Eric swiftly confiscated Oscar's cell phone and threw it away, making it clear that Oscar and Marisol were now in danger. The scene transitioned to Sony's lawyer, who was with a Mexican mafia boss named Cesar Valdez, or Don Valdez. Valdez had suffered significant losses due to Sony's imprisonment and was Sony's business partner. Eric arrived with Oscar and Marisol, and the lawyer explained their plan to Valdez. It was evident that the lawyer intended to use Oscar and Marisol as bait to lure Bryant to Valdez's location, making it easier to ambush him. Upon hearing this, Valdez, who was well aware of Bryant's formidable skills, grew immediately agitated. He had no desire to see his establishment destroyed as a consequence of this plan. However, since the plan was already in motion, Valdez reluctantly agreed, under the condition that Sony would compensate him with $20 million. Oscar was provided with a cell phone to inform his brother about their location at Valdez's place. Behind the scenes, Hector and Bryant were convening with all the members of L-17. They strategized on how to rescue Oscar and Marisol. In short, a group of L-17 members arrived at Valdez's place disguised as Mexican police officers, leading to a shootout. Subsequently, L-17 members departed on motorcycles. Meanwhile, Hector and Bryant entered through the back door and swiftly neutralized the individuals inside the premises. Frustrated by the news of his men being overpowered, Valdez vented his anger towards the lawyer. Oscar and Marisol were confined in a room under the watchful eyes of Valdez's men. At one point, Oscar managed to free himself and incapacitate one of the guards. Returning to Hector and Bryant, they continued their advance while eliminating Valdez's men. Meanwhile, Oscar and Eric engaged in a duel, during which Eric gained control of a firearm. As he prepared to shoot Oscar, Marisol unexpectedly shot Eric in the leg. They then reunited with Bryant, who led them out. Valdez attempted to attack them with his firearm on their way out, but Hector intervened and subdued Valdez from behind. Later that night, the FBI arrived at Valdez's location, which was now secure. It was revealed that Bryant's wife, who had been separated from him for years, was among the FBI agents. Bryant could finally reunite with his wife. A few days later, Sony was apprehended by the police, seemingly unaware that a member of L-17 had been working undercover. Bryant was also present, preparing to confront Sony.